Here are your hosts.
Your hosts for this evening, Shaggy.
Funny. Ha-ha. Not funny.
Colin.
It's going rogue left and right, man.
And Mike.
What the hell happened there? We just lost that all of a sudden. Okay. Well, welcome to PTR Radio.
You ready
there
to
it is.
kick ass?
Wow, that's a bit of a exaggerated pause.
Well, I think you just got mad because you picked your phone up and it said,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, you're not going to pay attention to me."
Yeah, it's like my wife. If you're not going to pay attention to me, I'm just going to misbehave. So, Mike,
Okay.
you have a worried look.
I wouldn't be saying that shit about if my wife was within earshot.
Oh, she's not. She's at Walmart right now. So, and like all wives, doesn't listen to the show. So
That is not true. My wife may listen tonight because she actually watched a movie with me for the review.
okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, welcome to PTR Radio.
It's not. Trust me.
Oh, all right. We'll get to that towards the last half hour of the show. But we do normally, for those of you that are new to the show, we do a double feature movie review where we pick two movies inspired from the Amazon Prime, Netflix lists of, hey, you might be interested in these movies given your previous history. And now our previous history is extremely tainted, to put it mildly. We get recommended a lot of garbage because of the garbage that we watch. So it's recycling, is what it is. And so tonight we have The Merry In-Laws and Velocipaster. So are you saying Kim watched Velocipaster with you? Is that what we were saying?
You're really delusional, aren't you?
I know. It's well, good news is we decided last week, the last show, that if you want to make it up to her and show her another Christmas movie, watch Anna and the Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Because that went over so well with you. So, but anyway, you can get in touch with the show at PTR Radio on Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. And tonight is our annual, it happens to be on a regular show night, New Year's Eve countdown. So we will, at some point, give you a marker to say, okay, and in the title, when this is posted to the podcast feed, we'll say when you should start the recording, and then we will count down to midnight.
So that means that you need to get the podcast posted tonight.
Yes, it does. It does mean that. Or tomorrow. But yes, ideally tonight. Yeah. So this will be a quick turnaround. But hey, that's okay. You guys heard that we're over 12,000 downloads so far since switching over to this new provider. So that's good news. That's encouraging news. That's growth. So, and we're all about personal growth here. So we have a couple things tonight for you. We got some news that we're going to talk about. I'm sure we can dig up a end of the decade list or two to complain about, because that is what's done on New Year's Eve shows, is they go over New Year's Eve lists, and especially
the end of the decade. That's not sitting right with me.
It's not with me either, for some reason. It was fine when we went, 99 to 2000. Of course, that was the millennial, but millennium.
Yeah,
but,
thank you.
It was for
I was going to let it go.
But it was millennium. And even from like 89 to 90, okay, the end of the decade, that's fine. But for some reason, and even from
2000 to 2009 and 2010.
Yeah. But it sure
Although
doesn't.
I kept saying 2010. Where's the monolith?
Yeah.
Someone said that something similar earlier. It's like, in 2020 we're supposed to be wearing like all silver and stuff. I was like, yeah. I thought, you could do that. Just show up at work all silver. What? It's 2020. It's what we're supposed to wear now.
Yeah.
What movie was that from? TV show.
Just in general, things in the future. Everybody was walking around in silver jumpsuits.
Well, we were supposed to be doing that 4 years ago, thanks, to Doc Brown.
Yeah,
Doc Brown told us that.
They were doing silver jumpsuits so much, though. Just self-lacing.
Self-lacing boots.
Yeah.
Well, he had the silver jacket, I think.
Yeah.
And then the yellow zipper tie. Well, that was a thing in the 80s.
Yep.
But we had all those things.
Part of the problem with 2009 is we weren't sure what to call that decade yet.
Yeah, no. Well, we still didn't know what to call the 2010-ish decade.
It's the teens.
Yeah, but you say the teens, and somebody's going to think 1900. I don't know.
No one ever really called it the teens. It was just the turn of the century. 1900 to 1910 was called turn of the century. So anyone ever said turn of the century?
What about 1910 to 1920? Would that have not been the teens?
I'm not sure what that was called.
Well, see, this year is also stupid as well, because, let's say you sign a legal document with that date.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
But let's just say normally you would. Like, if it was this year, you might sign it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But the problem with now somebody could just come along and say, oh, you signed that in 2011, so you owe me 9 years of
interest.
Yeah.
Well, it's bad enough that you got to worry about writing the wrong year on a check to begin with.
Yeah.
Now,
According to Wikipedia, by the way, 1910 to 1919 was known as the teens.
So it's the teens again. Well, this is going to be the 20s. So that's just the way it is. You have to figure it out.
So is everybody going to binge drink? I mean, if the decade is like your life, not your life, but that's a typical life.
You start by binge drinking and you end by
lots of one night stands.
No, that decade you start by binge drinking and end up having no money and going to war.
Oh, being in debt. I was going to say no. If it was like your life, like what did you do between the time you were 20 and 30?
Oh, I did the same thing I do now.
I know. That's why I said not your life.
Yeah.
But if we take the typical life.
Yeah, I understand now.
Okay. Binge drinking, one night stands, although to all of a sudden turn to job, career, relationship. It twists. You make a lot of adjustments during your 20s. If you didn't shortcut that whole process and have a kid when you were 19. Just saying, some people that happens to.
At 19, I just started job career and just kind of coasted since then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it is weird that this is a decade thing. And if you want to feel really old, somebody said this. Somebody posted this on Twitter. Think of it this way. This is the last time in your life that the year will ever end in teen. If you think about that.
How freaking depressing is that? Now I got to think about when I'm going to die?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you'll never be able to say teen again when you're doing the year.
Well, we certainly couldn't. I mean, there are people who maybe could still understand English who might get to 100. They might do it again.
Well, if they were born post 2000, all right, there's a good chance that they could live until the next 100. They could live 100 years.
Yeah,
because by the time medical science has gotten better.
Yeah. I'm not saying
we didn't all die of dysentery out there trying to hunt buffalo while going on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah. So let me make sure is my math correct? So in order to be able to say that we lived in the teens again, we would have to live another 100 years.
Well, at least 90.
90, 12, 13,
93?
93, yeah.
93-ish
93.
years.
So 93.
On to 44.
Hey, you do not know what's going to happen with medical advances before we die.
So if we did, or at least if I did, live to say teens again, I would be setting a record and rebaselining the point calculations for the PTR Celebrity Death Pool.
That's right.
Because I would be 127.
So then the PTR Radio version 4 by that time.
Only the 4?
Well, it'll be the 4th. I mean, look at how long we've been doing this. And we got a good 10 more years.
Well, wait a second. Version 1 was your 1 hour, 19 host show.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going off of this current iteration, the three-man team, the Three Musketeers, as it were. The strongest of all the iterations so far.
If we get all the way that far, it'd probably be version something in Chinese.
Yes. Version Year of the Dragon. Or Poodle.
And we'll be broadcasting from our Firefly class spacecraft.
Yes. And no one will still
Captain
listen.
Tight Pants. Which one of you will be Mr. Universe?
We will be broadcasting to Elon Musk's dead body on Mars because he was the first one there.
And the very extended by that point Blair family.
Yes. Prolific breeders, those Blairs.
That's
not so much.
Griffin's going to be flying us around.
Hey, I just got Griffin a Segway, so you can pull us on that.
Oh dear Lord!
I'm like, oh man, you are the best uncle ever. My uncle never got me a Segway.
It's one of those kid Segways that it's a refurbished one on Woot.
Okay, but still
a Segway.
Still a Segway. Yeah, true.
If this guy is not, if he does not take advantage of this and either go as Weird Al or Paul Blart Mall Cop for Halloween, then this is a wasted opportunity as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know what he's doing with his life.
Because if I got a Segway, the first thing that I would be doing is planning out my Halloween costume to be peanut butter Blart and jelly.
Well, along those same lines, so youngest grandson has to wear an eye patch for 3 hours a day because his eyes are screwed up just like his dad's were. And I said, if you don't dress him up as a pirate every Christmas, opportunity missed.
Listen,
yeah.
So I had to wear an eye patch this past weekend.
Oh, did you put your fork in your eye again?
No, my dog's paw.
Oh, that's no good.
Never had that problem. That's because
not intentionally. 2:00 in the morning, I get home from hockey on Saturday, and Tyson's so excited he jumps up and his paw gets me right in the eye. Immediate tears, can't open my eye because it's just watering so much. Mm-hmm. Fell asleep with the ice pack on it. Next day I get up, I have antibiotic ointment to put in my eye, but it makes my eye so blurry. I said, no, Kim, you got to take me to get an eye patch. I can't.
Yeah.
I'd rather just not see anything than have to deal with the blurriness. And yes.
So you went to your local Halloween store, and there it was.
to go way back to that earlier topic.
Yeah.
Because I did want to fill it in. As a computer programmer who was professionally programming around the turn of the century, I always do a 4-digit year. Because, well, I already did that once.
You don't want the Y3 bug.
It's just, no. The idea of not putting 4 digits for a year just bugs me.
I understand. So, we should talk real quick about what your some of the favorite things you got for Christmas, because this is our post-Christmas show.
Oh, yeah.
So, I know we forget about that because at least here it was 60 degrees on Christmas. So, I was running around in shorts and a T-shirt.
Thought we were Australian or something.
So it was a bit unnerving. And then today, suddenly, winter has come. And, now it's cold.
And windy.
Oh, so windy. Wish I had a windmill. That kind of windy. So one of the things I got for Christmas, we will actually be using later. It's a new game called Raising Hell. All right. So this is a game similar to If you've ever played Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity or anything like that, it's very similar to that, but it's picture-based. So that's an important difference. But that's a fun one. I also got another one along the same lines called New Phone Who Dis, which maybe we'll break out next show, which is along, like I said, along the exact same lines, and just a lot of fun. So my daughter got me those. That's really good. And my dad got me a good bottle of Irish whiskey that I didn't open on Christmas Day. I actually kept it still in its cardboard tube. So I haven't cracked into that quite yet. But I did take a big dent out of about 4 other bottles of Irish whiskey during Christmas Eve because there were too many children running around here. And so I needed to calm my nerves.
Fair enough.
And I figured, and I went through, let's see here, Middleton, Powers, Napogue. I also went through Bushmills, Patty's. Then I got a couple of shots worth of moonshine. And then I had 2 pear apple ciders. So it was jolly, to say the least. But some people, stayed around till 11:30 at night. And it's like, it's too late. Go home.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that was my kind of Christmas. Colin, how about you?
I'm trying to remember. See, I did get some whiskey. I think it's Canadian. Haven't got into that yet. And I like fidget spinners. Mm-hmm. So I got a combination Rubik's Cube and fidget spinner. It's like one layer. It's not a 4x4. It's not a 4x4. It's not a 3x3. It's a 3x1.
Okay, I gotcha.
But that's the exact one.
So for those that are curious, this one's what we're talking about.
Yep. But what's kind of cool about it is if you turn it, like the 2 sides, you turn it halfway, then the ones that you can see those little finger knots in, those turn separately. So you can actually get a little more turning on it than a regular one. I did not know that, and Griffin had swapped it around, and I could not figure out how to get it back the way it was supposed to be.
Well, that's kind of cool.
And
I might have to get one of those for work.
I got some chocolate, still little chocolate bottles with liquor in them. And there's some other stuff. I should have created a list. I could remember everything I had. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mike, how about you?
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I should have created a list too. Well, let's see. I remember I got some clothes. Always need new sleep pants and a couple of shirts. And this is where the wife is going to kill me. I know she bought me a new hockey stick, which was probably the biggest gift, literally, figuratively, and cost-wise.
Yeah.
She went down my Amazon wish list and got me pretty much all of the stupid little things that I just kind of put on there as fillers. She went crazy and she bought me the beard cape.
Oh.
That stupid thing that goes around and suction cups to the mirror so that your hairs get caught when you're trimming your beard. Mm-hmm. I did get, and this is where my memory's blurry, because I did get a gift. Said there were going to be 3. Mm-hmm. The first gift was for the fur kids. Mm-hmm. I don't recall what the third one was because I ordered so much crap off of Amazon that it could have been something I ordered, could have been something that came as a gift. I don't know. Not everything had a gift receipt or gift message. But there was one, and you and I need to talk.
You didn't like the scarf? Is that what you didn't like?
Listen. No, I got the scarf. That's right. Okay, so that was the third one, the scarf. Uh-huh. Which was the army scarf. But now we have to talk.
Okay, yeah. I just went off of your wish list.
No,
so I don't know what
you went off of a list that I had no input on.
No,
And
it's
the hell you say. Because this bit needs to die. I have sat around for a week with this thing doing two things. One, trying to work on a Matt Smith impression. And his accent is just stupid. Okay? So the closest I got with that was the Norm Macdonald method of impressions. Yeah, I'm the doctor. Because it's cool. Got some fish sticks to put in my custard there? Because, I'm the doctor. That's about close as I came with that. The only other impression I got
is...
I was just sitting there like that for...
Yes.
That's it.
Oh.
So
the Fez was a
when
hit.
I explained to Mrs. 8-Man what this was about, the translated version,
the joy that she saw.
the translated message to extend is, please take that list down and let this bit die with 2019. Because she's tired of me trying to find room for all of these hats. In addition to me trying to come up with characters to go with these hats. And to further drive this home, I would like to invite back a friend to explain to you the issues that we are having with these hats.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Shathid. Okay.
Mr. Shitid has come back to tell you, stop with the goddamn hats. If people want to buy this man things from a wish list, there is a wish list they can buy from. There cannot be 17 characters from this studio. The sentiment is appreciated. Mr. Shitade is very warm in the winter. Steam comes from Mr. Shitade's head in the winter. But no more.
Understood. Gotcha.
Is bad enough. It man's hairline recede from heads. No more.
Okay.
See this Beckham Parabellum.
All right. So.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Oh. It was worth it. It was worth every penny.
Yeah.
So, yes. But no.
A goddamn Fez. What?
Oh, it could have been worse.
The only other Fez character that I came up with was the dude that Eddie Murphy was talking to, doesn't even speak in English. In the market, in The Golden Child.
Well, no, wait, hold on. You had
6:30, but I don't think I'm gonna make it to the party. Now, seriously, but Matt Smith. Let's be clear about this. Where is he from? Because I tried for hours to even just get Fez as a cool to sound like Matt Smith, and nope.
Well, obviously he's English. Okay. He's from Northampton, England. Or Northampton, sorry. Which is a large market town and country town of Northamptonshire in the East Midlands.
Sure.
So he's in like the northeast of England.
Now, I just sent PTR a messenger on Facebook.
Oh, okay. So Mike sees it right away.
Well, it wasn't a message on this. It was a messenger.
No, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, a messenger
Yes.
thing. Okay. I don't know. Should get it
It says
somewhere.
it says attachment unavailable.
Well, that's annoying.
Isn't it?
Just mildly. No more annoying than Facebook not working in some browsers anymore.
If I do this too.
While you're doing that, let me reiterate to folks that the 2020 Celebrity Death Pool entry is now open. So you can go to ptrradio.com, and right in the menu, there's a 2020 Death Pool entry link. Just click that. Supply your 5 celebrities you think are going to kick the bucket in 2020, and that's it. Pretty simple. Then tell your friends. Do the same. Rinse and repeat. That's what it takes. We've had pretty good entries so far, I think. What are we at, Mike? Like 25 or 30? Watch, I'm wildly off.
Not wildly off. Technically, we have 20.
20, okay. Yeah, so not bad. But we still have a ways to go. Now, remember, this is going to be open until showtime on the 13th, which is our next scheduled show. So if you haven't got your entries in, you need to get to ptrradio.com, click on the menu item, and boom, you're done.
Okay.
All right.
Colin and a Fez. It looks
it's
more
on
like
Slack
it
now.
looks like a
Yeah.
real Fez.
Yeah, Colin definitely has been on had a Fez on before.
Yes, it's in Slack. So
Yeah.
I can pop it up.
Yeah. So in fact, I did International Man of Mystery with Colin and the Fez, if I remember correctly, on a post.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
It's one of there's another Fez picture out there somewhere. That's they have Fezes at Epcot, so my family sticks me on the Fez. It takes a picture. It goes, "There's another one."
there's another one.
That's the better one because I picked up one of those drums and played it at the same time.
Let me see here, because I know that I've got that picture. I probably have that picture of you, but let me see what else I did to it. But yeah, so we definitely have Fez photos. Fez photos aplenty. Timeline photos, or were they mobile? I don't remember which they were. So yeah, you got.
So it's 6:30.
Yes, it is. Oh, there it is. It's part of. Oh, it was part of your birthday. It was also. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Come on, Facebook. You can do it. You can do it.
Facebook can't do it. What browser are you talking about that Facebook's not working in now?
Well, IE Classic, it definitely hates.
So does
There we go.
90% of the civilized world.
So, Colin is a man of international culture. There you go. I knew I'd used that one before.
So anyway, it's 6:30. So I was thinking we should probably start a countdown.
Oh, yeah, we should. So an hour and a half from now, that's when New Year's will be.
Well, I was thinking the countdown should end before the movie review.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. Okay, yeah. So
I
an hour.
agree.
All right, so an hour.
Yep.
An hour. Okay, gotcha. So let me go ahead and fire up the most reliable countdown in the world, which is...
Oh, you got it?
I got it.
Okay.
All right.
So the countdown has begun.
Countdown to midnight has begun, folks. So...
I should hold that up to the camera.
Okay, so... See? He started. Yeah, it also means that I can't post-edit this, so we have to, not say anything that has to be edited out later and not leave tons of gaps for silence or anything like that. Which is always fun for me. So let's talk right away about... well, Mike, this one's near and dear to your heart. You found a list of states that people are fleeing in mass numbers.
Yeah, this was actually the first article that started off our whitelist. And the irony behind this, Studio A in New Jersey Mm-hmm. Second most moved out of state in the nation.
Could you please hold our beer? Because we got this.
Yep.
Illinois, number one.
Famously, number one. They've been complaining about it for decades now.
Yep. I look around. There's still people here.
Yeah.
So it's not empty yet. But it's getting that way.
I just... It's not that I like Illinois. It's that it's too much trouble to go anywhere else.
It's where all my stuff is.
No, exactly.
If I moved someplace else, I'd have to pack it up and take it. And, and for us, it's all about kids and family being here. So it's like...
Yeah.
Nah, it creates too much trouble.
I was actually surprised by this, that the number 12 outbound state is Pennsylvania. Now, obviously, in New Jersey, Pennsylvania is one of the destination states. What does that tell you?
And people are moving to Alabama, according to this? The top inbound state is Alabama?
Yeah.
I don't see that as being accurate.
Oh, it's probably for the same reason as Tennessee, because it's where the retirees are going.
Well, but that would mean that it would be Florida.
No, because Florida's full. Those are the older
He
retirees.
said Florida's full. It's just no vacancy sign right at the border.
Florida is full of the boomers.
We have a citizen exchange program. Somebody passes
Florida's
away, then
got
they let one old person in.
Exactly. Florida has a wait list. Like, okay, we just had a trailer park get hit by that hurricane. Smith, party of four. You're now seated. Come on.
Mrs. Caponelli died of heart disease. Mr. Facinia, you can come in, but you've got to take her 12 cats. That's the way that this works. Sorry, but you inherit them.
So all the baby boomers went to Florida. The kids of the baby boomers are like, do we want to go retire to the place where Grandma and Grandpa are? Or do we want to go somewhere else? So now they're going elsewhere.
Well, and
So
retirement in itself has changed.
Yeah.
It used to be you retire, a few years later you die. You have the decency to die, all right? But now you just stick around forever. You never go anywhere. You just need stuff constantly. My lawn needs done. My leaves need raked. House needs painted. Toilet's leaking again.
South Dakota is the number 5 most moved to state, and I'm thinking to myself, they're still a state.
Yeah, but that's because of the fracking.
He's still a state.
I mean, you never hear anything happen in South Dakota.
I heard it. I heard
did.
it twice on Family Feud last night. They said, okay, name a place that starts with South. Actually, no, it was North. I'm sorry. They were talking North Dakota. But still, it was like North blank. And the person went, North Dakota? I'm like, did you idiots never hear the North Pole? That's going to be the most popular answer is North Pole. Because one brother said North Dakota. The other one said North Dakota. Then he got buzzed. And then he said North Carolina. And I'm like, okay, combined you guys got 7 for those 2 answers. Because everybody else said North Pole.
But the answer is natural gas. So there's a lot of people going there either to work on the natural gas stuff,
Or to put out the fires coming from people's sinks.
or providing services to the people doing that. So it's like the place to get a job right
Number 2 to move to was Colorado. I mean,
No. I think you got this backwards.
now.
Just close the link, but I thought
Yeah,
Colorado
Colorado's
was
9.
lower.
9, okay. 9, sorry. So, but still, Colorado? I mean, I know they legalize pot and everything, but...
I mean, I once lived in Colorado. It is a nice place. I mean,
Yeah,
I was like
Colorado
3.
actually is not.
Yeah. I don't know how much seeing of the city you did at 3.
enough that I remember it.
Okay.
And my sister Kate was born in Denver.
Okay.
But
Then,
Oh,
then
yeah,
you
I've
see
been
the next two
everywhere.
are the Carolinas.
Carolinas, and then Washington. Now they can't be talking
He's
about
traveled
DC.
every road in this here land. Colin's been everywhere, man. Colin's been everywhere, man. He breathed that mountain air, man. Traveled all up the air, man. I ain't even. No, we're not going to try that. Yeah, the Carolinas are 8-7, north and south, of course.
Yeah, and
then Washington.
I would love to move to Washington. That is a beautiful, beautiful state.
Oregon is the number 2 most moved to. The number 1 surprised me. Number 1 being Vermont.
Oh, see, my wife would move to Vermont, but I'm like, no.
Okay, look, I like maple syrup, but that ain't no reason to move anywhere.
No, well, she thinks their houses are so quaint, and they have such a nice little cool towns, and I'm like, yeah, we'd get bored.
Sure, you know where else they have quaint little houses in Venezuela.
I was going to say Washington.
I was going to say anywhere else, but not thinking of Venezuela.
Yeah.
For some reason, that never pops into my mind for geographical places. I'd think of Chile
Vermont
before I thought of Venezuela.
Vermont's job growth, 0%.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a job and you're
ain't
looking
getting
for
one.
work, don't go to Vermont.
No. Not unless you've got a lot of experience running a sugar shack. So,
What's that number? Net migration?
net migration, minus 300. So they say people are moving there, but it's down 300. So either people die a lot more often.
Well, it's
in Vermont.
negative, so they're meaning 300 people moved there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Never
But
mind.
still, only 300 people moved there?
Well, it's the size of Jacksonville.
I know. That's why I'm just like, okay, proportionally, sure.
It's the whole state has a population it's not even half of Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, it's
623,000.
That's like, what's Springfield at now, right?
We're at 140.
140, yeah. That's like
So
several Springfields.
So this is proof that, Shaggy, you and I are in the presence of genius every other Monday.
Well, yeah. Colin guided me around Denver when I got lost. As a 3-year-old, he was more aware of surroundings than his mother. Well,
At 3 years old, Colin had memorized the map of Colorado
well,
and was
that,
able to guide his mom around.
at that point, he'd built his own smartphone, and he had mastered the global positioning satellites. So he just whipped it up real quick, and boom, there you go.
He had a Silverlight app on his phone that showed him where everything was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that also is about the same time as a famous family story of the time where we were traveling back to Springfield from Denver, and my dad fell asleep while they were driving and discovered that we'd gone a couple states over from where we were supposed to be.
See, now
States.
my wife and I have this rule: if we don't get lost at least once on a trip, then it wasn't a real trip. And that's even with the assistance of GPS and everything else.
Yeah, a couple states over is probably, but we went the wrong direction. That's the important thing.
Because we would have never seen the Hudson River.
Oh, well. See, this is where I kind of like being on a seaboard, like either east. We always used to say if we got lost in Jersey, just head east until you hit the coast.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know from that point whether you got to go north or south, right or left. That's all. That's it. And eventually you're going to figure out where you are and you can get home.
Yeah. But
well, it's,
when in doubt, head east. You'll hit a coast.
It's impossible to get lost around here because all the roads are in a strict east, north, south, west grid. There are almost no roads
to get
going
lost.
any other
Challenge
directions.
accepted.
yeah, it's not impossible, but it is a lot harder.
It is. You really have to work hard to get lost around here.
Maybe
actually,
game on, bitches. All right.
Actually, what makes it difficult to get lost here is that you can pretty much stand up on any table and be able to see everything because there's no changes in elevation anywhere.
Yeah. You can see the Capitol building and the whatever the name of the hotel is now for a long distance.
Yes, we have the penis in the prairie.
If I come out, or not if, but when I come out to Springfield, there's a couple of to-dos here.
Yes. Definitely.
One, a horseshoe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is on the bucket list. Because I've been hearing about this delicacy for
Yes. Ever.
how many years now?
Delicacy is pretty strong.
2, I want to meet all the dogs
Oh, easy.
because that's got to be done. Both Blair and Shaggy. I got to meet both. I got to meet all the dogs. And then for some reason,
You want to see a Lincoln
I don't remember if this
impersonator.
is. What's that?
You want to see a Lincoln impersonator.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys come here, I got to show you at least one spot where Washington slept, and chances are we're going to be going there anyway because, look, Washington slept everywhere around here. So, yeah, we got to see Lincoln. But I seem to remember something about a drive-through furniture store in one of our tales, and I don't remember where that was.
We have many a drive-through liquor stores. I don't know that we have a drive-through furniture store, but liquor stores we got. I know of at least 3.
Okay.
So
And then there was some movie theater that was a pub.
Oh, no,
think.
that's not it. No.
Not here.
Okay.
The one here has a bar, but it sucks. It's nowhere near as
Okay.
nice as probably what you have around you.
Yeah, both of our AMCs now have bars, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
There's no like table service or anything like that.
No, you're
And
thinking more of like a Alamo, and we don't have an Alamo Draft House, and we don't have one of those around here.
yeah, but we do.
Okay.
But we got some pretty nice raunchy bars that we can go to. Goods Furniture has a drive-through. I would not know that.
Well, we did talk about Goods. They don't really have a drive-through, but they do take up an entire city, well, a couple city
Yeah,
blocks.
that's
so that
true.
might have been that.
Okay.
But, we do have a drive-in.
Yeah,
That's.
yeah.
Well, we'll figure that out.
That's what you do in the summer.
Lots of time. Yeah.
I just know a horseshoe. That's
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
got to be
horseshoe.
done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got to clog your arteries before you go home.
And probably Chile. We are the chili capital of the world.
Okay.
I don't know that that's been widely established, that we are the chili capital of the world.
We are the chili capital of the world with our spelling of chili.
Okay. Well, we would have to take Mike to a Route 66 thing.
Oh, probably Cozy Dog.
Probably, yeah. I was
Yeah.
thinking Cozy Dog.
Yeah, you do have to go to the originator of the
Of the corn dog.
on a stick.
Okay.
There's some question of who
we do have
originated
the
the corn
first.
dog.
We do have the first drive-through. The first fast food drive-through.
Oh, yeah, we do have that.
in the world is here.
Yeah. I've never eaten there.
No, because their food is horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would eat there. Made Right Sandwich Shop, a loose meat sandwich shop.
Oh,
But
no.
but yeah, they're no good.
It's kind of like a sloppy Joe, except without the sloppy Joe.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, it's a loose meat slider. Not good.
I don't understand.
Like White Castle.
Which we don't have.
No.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah. So, but all right. So people are
Well,
leaving.
I don't know if Mama Blair's trying to plan out an itinerary or not now, but like,
She might. Yeah, you could get lost in all the little towns around here. That's for darn sure.
True.
You know, you go an hour and a half or so in certain directions, and you'll get the police pulling you over, going, "You're not from around here, are you, boy?" You know.
so what you're saying is me driving out to you with New Jersey plates, probably not a.
Oh no, because you'll be on
Brilliant
major.
idea.
You'll be on major roads, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
No,
That's fine.
it's say going cross country
Yeah.
down south from us.
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
when Colin and I eventually make our trip to Breeze, the home of ski, we're going to have to take his gay pride bumper sticker off. Otherwise, we could end up in trouble. So, I'm just saying. It could happen.
It'd be funnier if I didn't hate bumper stickers in general with a passion.
So, all right. Before we get too long, let's go ahead and we'll get into the Raising Hell game for a little bit of fun. So this game is very much, for those of you that don't know, this is available on Amazon. It's an interesting game. So we will. Colin and I have to grab some cards. We did a little bit of prep work and we sent Mike some cards. So he has cards. So Colin, go ahead and pick like 8 out of there or so. So this is very much like Cards Against Humanities or Apples to Apples or whatever your favorite, social card game is.
I picked up exactly 8.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I should take, from the 16 you sent me, I should take 8.
Yeah, sure. Take 8. Yeah. So because we're playing this a little bit long distance, Mike has his own deck and we have our decks. And so what's going to happen is I'll start this first round and then you guys come up with your best caption, the best caption you guys think it is, to the card that I'm holding up.
Okay.
Now, typically I wouldn't know who submitted what. All right. But in this, because of the way we're playing it, we kind of got to do it this way. So I will put up a picture to the screen so that everybody can see it. And then you guys, from your deck, pick a card that matches the picture. So this is the picture. Child falling off whirly gig. All right. So now they're going through their decks. They're going to find a caption, this is basically kind of like, do you know your meme or build a meme? All right. Colin, do you have yours?
Yes.
All right. What is your caption to this photo? I used to think I wouldn't make a good parent, and I was right. All right. Mike, how about you? What do you have for this picture? The news that...
All right, I'll just read it because that's not working.
Yeah.
The news that Santa isn't real triggered a deep depression.
I'm going to go with Colin on this one, I think. So Colin gets the point for that one. All right. So you can just keep that card so that you know what your points are. All right, Colin. Okay. Grab one from the Raising Hell big deck.
I understand now. I thought that was a card that I was going to be holding up. That's why.
No. So now you hold up yours. Kid face planted on the sand.
With another... with a probably a sister on the side at some kind of pool area.
Here we go. I got one for this.
Okay.
Mike, you know which one you're going with?
Okay.
All right. So my caption is, I told you homeschooling was a stupid idea.
You know what? Oh my God.
So, Mike, what do you have?
When you realize that life is just you trapped in a flesh prison for the next 80 years.
So which one do you like there, Colin?
I'll go with Mike's.
All right, Mike, you got a point.
We'll stick that somewhere.
Yep. We'll stick it up there for him. All right.
Now, do we need to get another card?
No, we can just play out of this deck. It's fine.
Very good.
All right, let's see.
All right, so it's Mike's turn to hold up a photo. It's a good thing we sent them earlier. But we sent them blind. I have no idea what Mike's cards are, what his pictures are, nothing. They're just completely blind. So, one child completely covered in mud with a muddy stick and another smaller child next to them. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go with this, which is actually a quote. All right, Colin.
Don't like any of these, but I'll go with this one.
All right.
Cheaper than a babysitter.
And I am going with a quote from Bob Ross. We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents.
There's like I feel a double entendre thing happening with you. That the happy little accidents might actually be referring to the children, not what they did. So, Shaggy, I'm going to have to give you a point for that one.
All right.
Oh, I totally agree. Like I said, I didn't like any of mine for that one.
Okay. We can grab a couple more to refill our stacks.
Okay, so yeah, put 2 more in your.
Mike, make sure you've got 8 cards in your pile. Give yourself a fresh card for this round. Okay, which is a child swinging a nunchuck. A young child swinging a nunchuck.
Perfect.
All right. So Mike knows what he wants.
Okay.
All right. Mike, you go first this time.
When they come home from their grandparents and they learn some dumb S word.
Colin, how about you?
Oh, I can't beat that, so.
What is
Hammered.
it? All right. Mike gets the win. All right,
And
Colin.
Just to make sure, just to show you I'm not lying.
Yep.
You know, it's
Yep.
hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, this one. I actually had the correct one to this one.
Okay.
But that's okay.
So this is a child in a diaper, a face mask with a couple of hammer.
Yeah, it looks like a clear plastic tube of some kind over the head.
Let's see here.
And something on the leg. It's
I was going to say...
and the leg of the baby is like all bandaged
it's already got a bandage on it.
Okay. See, since we pointed that out.
Yeah. Okay. So mine is when your child gives 0 Fs about your hangover.
When your parents believe in letting you learn from your mistakes.
Okay, that wins.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wins.
Mike wins that one.
Almost knocked my cards all over. All right. Let's see.
A kid licking a window. To what we end up with.
Oh, yeah, that's the one he mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Which I thought he meant kitten. Yeah.
Let's see here. I grabbed one of the ones you had seen earlier, and that it's not working. We'll go with this one because it's a throwaway.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I have a card that says "Lord of the Flies Energy."
Get off my damn lawn.
I got to go with Colin on this
I
one.
thought so. I don't blame you. I would go with Colin as well on that one. So let me grab a couple more just for my stack before I throw up one more. We'll do one more round real quick. So, Mike, what do you think of the game? You think your friends would like this one?
Yeah, this is actually, I do like this one.
All right. Oh, the devil's in the details here. All right, here is a child spitting up while riding on the shoulders of his parent or adult or whomever. Child completely drooling, spitting up, etc. on the face of his parent. All right. Colin, what do you got for this? Am I right, ladies? All right.
I like that one, but I don't kind of like. No, we're gonna go with this one. Why not? Alternate scene from the "Everybody Hurts" music video.
Oh, I like that one. I think you're gonna get it, Mike. I think you're getting it.
I was torn between that and "When You Love Your Family," but also want to leave them at a highway rest stop.
Either one of those would have been good.
I keep picking up the one I'm going to show and be like, man, those are the ones I have the answers to. This is my favorite picture so far.
Okay. This is a child in front of, with a huge smile, a small child, chicken and waffles.
Hashtag relatable.
Let's see here. Probably that one. Here we go. Regrets. I have none.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay, Mike.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. Why not? I'm curious to see what you guys come up with for this one.
A small child petrified on a roller coaster. All right, I'm going with this one.
Okay.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, it was the demo ones we looked at earlier.
Yeah.
Unhead me, you rogue.
All right, I gotta give it to Shaggy.
All right. Okay, and that's the last round. So let's see here. Mike ends up with 4.
Oh, Mike's the winner. Followed by Shaggy and then me.
Yeah. So, but if you guys are interested in this game, we don't get any money for this, but it's called Raising Hell. It's available on Amazon, and
so question.
Yeah.
So of the cards you had left, were there any that you really liked, but you couldn't find the right thing for?
There was one.
Oh, Lord.
That was when you realize you could have been traveling, working on your novel, and taking naps.
I had one that was when you realize you do have a favorite.
I had one that I didn't actually pick from that was never in my pile of 8, and I'm mad about this. My baloney has a first name. It's FUIS for Cheerios.
For the love of God, please just put down your phone and help me. So, yeah.
And when you realize your kid is way smarter than you.
When you're just mad because they're living their truth and not yours.
And then I had this terrible one that I have no idea when I could ever use. Alexa, play Toxic by Britney Spears.
Thank goodness I'm on mute.
Okay, so I've got 2 more that when they've effed up your whole life, so it's hard to feel bad for them. And this kid is the reason some woman out there pees a little every time she sneezes.
So what's great is, hopefully you can see it, there's 3 stacks of the answer cards. All right. And then there are, I think they said 80 picture cards. So pretty good game. Pretty good game all around. And what I am surprised at is there's not an expansion pack already. Because I was looking through, because I thought, surely there must be, because I had fun just looking at this. And so I was going to get them. They didn't have them. So I thought, you know what? From my family photos, I bet I could make some. At least the picture cards, because that's really all you want.
So, Mike, do we have any messages?
We do not.
Okay. So I got a picture from my dad. I thought maybe you might send it a different way, but I'll just hold it up to the... It's the Golden Girls Any Way You Slice It game. So apparently there's a Golden Girls game that he found somewhere.
To the web.
That would be interesting.
Golden Girls, any way you slice it. game. Okay. Yes, I see that.
There's a Golden Girls Clue, a Golden Girls Monopoly, a Golden Girls Trivia Pursuit, a Golden Girls Shot Glasses, and drinking game. Oh, no, that's just cool. I'm going to have to put that on my wish list now.
Okay, so anyway, test your knowledge of the classic sitcom.
All right, that is Trivial Pursuit with a different name.
It is, and it's with pieces of cheesecake to win.
Because that's what they were always having.
Yes.
But still, it's Trivial Pursuit.
And then somebody else just went ahead and made a Trivial Pursuit version. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
Here, add to list. There, my wish list. Now I'm going to probably end up with the Golden Girls shot glasses, which will be awesome.
Yeah, I should really start doing that because I'm notoriously terrible for people to shop for.
Mm-hmm.
I am adding the Golden Girls game to my wish list as well. We'll see.
Which one did you do? Did you do the Any Way You Slice It, or did you do the Trivial Pursuit?
The Any Way You Slice It.
Because there is a Trivial Pursuit.
My wife and I watch the Golden Girls every Sunday like it's a religion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it should be. And I just added the Golden Girls Pops.
I actually want to make a hockey jersey and put Sophia on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back for the name, just put Sicily, and the number will be 1912.
Well, here's a great thing. I'm sure it's not copyrighted, or if it is, it's a violation. A stemless wine glass says, "Live like Rose, dress like Blanche, think like Dorothy, speak like Sophia."
Yeah.
Then it should say #GoldenLife. That's what it should say.
Oh, there you go. Golden Girls Mad Libs. Everything you need.
Golden Girls wit and wisdom of the Golden Rules, wit and wisdom. What the hell does a Harry Potter book have to do with Golden? It doesn't even have the word girls in it.
Yeah, but it is Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah.
There's a Golden Girls
action figures. Oh, that's funny. Golden Girls Chia Pet.
Okay. I think people are tired of watching.
No, nobody's tired. Nobody ever gets tired of Golden Girls. They're a classic.
I'm sure they love Golden Girls, but the watching Shaggy look at Amazon shows.
Yeah, well, All right. So there's about 25 minutes left till midnight if you're following along. And everything's going great so far. We've shopped for stuff. We've played a game. We've learned that the states that we live in suck. And now we're about to find people that are more successful than us at what we do as a hobby. So I will say friend of the show. I think we can say friend of the show, don't you, Mike? Talking about one of our biggest interviews to date ever.
Oh, Big Sal of the Conspiracy Horseman podcast.
Yes,
with Ben Hameen and Greek God Papadon.
Yeah, so obviously we were his breakout role because it seems like after the interview with us, everything started happening for him. So I think we can claim responsibility for that, really, if we think about it. I mean,
Now, I'm not sure that I want to claim responsibility for this one because I have heard some very polarizing opinions about a guest that the Conspiracy Horseman had recently. Mm-hmm. They had Mr. John McAfee.
Yeah, and it was video chat, so it wasn't like
cybersecurity.
It was video chat, and so it's not like somebody called in as and said, "HEV, this is John McAfee." Nobody did that. All right, it was actually John McAfee.
Yes,
which, we can tell him that his antivirus sucks. That's about as far as I know, really, and I know that he's crazy or borderline crazy.
Now, I figured you guys might have more of an opinion about him than I do. I just know that some of the stuff that he has said regarding cybersecurity, there have been people that blamed him for what he has talked about, or I don't know. Like,
There's some stories that he actually paid bounties to virus writers back in the early days of viruses to create something that he needed to protect against.
Create a need for his product, basically.
Yeah, whether that actually happened or not, I haven't seen anything solid on that.
But I've heard that same story against Norton, against you name it. Everybody and their brother. There's a conspiracy theory out there that they're playing both sides of the table, right?
Yeah.
To some degree, it's true, just because it's the same thing as the Batman thing, right? So the existence of all the bad guys the Batman was against was because Batman was there in the first place. It's like there would be no Joker without Batman.
Right, there's an escalation that happens.
Yes. So if you did not have the virus scanner, then there would not be the competition to beat the virus scanner.
Yeah. So
to some degree, it's true, just because that's just the way things are.
Yeah, but it's not like there were never going to be viruses.
Right.
Someone's always going to be a jerk.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of it, all right? We haven't bred that out of society yet. Somebody's going to be out there. But, I mean, I know he came kind of to light more with, like, the Edward Snowden stuff, like the Big Brother, privacy stuff, where he's telling you, hey, the government's into everything that you do. And, I mean, he's a huge, for as much as he was built on technology, his fortune was built off technology, he's a huge anti-technology person right now because of what can potentially happen with it. And that he thinks is actually happening right now. So that's just, but the fact that Sal pulled him as a guest is huge.
Well, and to be fair, I believe it's actually Bin Hameen that pulled.
Okay.
But the fact that they did get him, yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I do know that John was very complimentary of how easy it was for him to join their podcast. As opposed to some of these others where he had to install something and click and then open and tweak settings. I'm guessing they probably are using vMix.
Yeah, they're probably using
where
something
they
very
sent
similar.
him a link and he clicked and he was ready to go.
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably using that or something very, very similar. So yeah,
that's where okay. So John apparently. Part of what I was thinking about was when he offered to crack the iPhone used by the shooters in San Bernardino, so that because Apple was refusing to unlock it or decrypt it, and later on he said, "Yeah, I was just doing that for attention. I don't think I could do it, but it was a publicity stunt." And then I guess he was all about Bitcoin and talking about apps and how the flaws in apps and Android and all.
Yeah,
he's a weird guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So Mike had a list of the 12 most unfairly maligned movies of the 2010s, which I went through a list real quick, and I don't know. There's not that much on the list that I've seen that I did like, but some others on there.
Now,
but there's a
okay for those of us that failed English the first time through. Maligned. How do they define that?
Movies that critics did not like that they sort of did.
Okay.
So I guess kind of like a guilty pleasure type.
They're saying that, okay, so reading this, these are the films that should be shouted from the rooftops and the tallest mountains about how great they actually are, despite what critics or angry mobs across the internet may say.
Yeah.
But
I'm kind of going through the list and going
Siffy knows their true greatness. You agree?
I agree with the critics on many of these movies.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Jupiter Ascending. Didn't watch it. Wasn't really interested in it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to watching that one.
I watched it. I can neither agree nor disagree with the critics.
Yeah.
John Carter.
I did like John Carter. The critics actually kind of like John Carter, but it did terrible in the
didn't
theaters.
Battleship.
No.
Hated it.
Power Rangers 2017.
No.
Stupid.
A Wrinkle in Time. I actually saw this one. I sped watched this one because it was so bad.
I wish that I could have liked it because the book is amazing, but I tried.
Man of Steel.
Awesome, because isn't that the one where Superman killed someone?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesomeness.
I think I liked it more than the critics. I didn't dislike it, but I think in the end that entire section of DC just stunk.
Wow.
So I think in retrospect it's worse than it was.
Godzilla King of the Monsters.
It's a Godzilla movie. It was great. That one I agree with sci-fi on. Disney's
Tomorrowland. Didn't watch it.
It was a Brad Bird movie. I liked some parts of it, but I just never quite understood its existence.
Sucker Punch.
Never saw it.
Nah,
I love that movie. That is an awesome movie.
Okay. Megamind.
Okay, that one I agree. I actually love Megamind. That was a
thought
great
that
movie.
it was done pretty. I only heard good things about it. I don't know why they would.
Yeah.
Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, that's pretty notorious.
I honestly
Never
have
saw
to
it.
go back. I got to go back and try and rewatch it now. After seeing this list, I want to go and rewatch it.
And then the last one, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey.
Yeah, it was too long, but it was still Peter Jackson doing Lord of the Rings stuff. So, yeah, I continue to watch it over and over again. So I put up a different list from the same thing because I'm not sure if this list was up there.
The best so bad they were good movies of the decade.
Yes, which
now
is
this is more along our lines.
this
man.
is what we were always trying to
Did
find.
they just go through and watch our movie reviews?
Or is this a list of movies that we need to put on our list of movie reviews? I don't know.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
This is actually just a bunch of Nick Cage movies. So they have Sorcerer's Apprentice, Secret Season of the Witch,
Ghost Rider
and Ghost
2.
Riders 2, yeah. And The Humanity Bureau.
And
Between Worlds.
And Between Worlds.
So those I don't know if I've seen any of these.
And then they added Battleship and the last
yeah,
three
they're really
Twilight
pushing
movies.
Battleship. They must really like Battleship.
Okay, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Now that was a Jeremy Renner. One.
You skipped over Twilight movies, which I'm sorry, that's
I said them.
Sorry.
They got exactly their due.
They got exactly their due, yes.
They say the Transformers movies were great. I don't know. Last one could have done without.
Well, listen, Hansel and Gretel, the whole thing that makes me angry is the fact that, like, okay, they play it off that Hansel is he's sick, and yeah, he's diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, I need to see Witch Hunters. I haven't seen that. That's actually one of the ones I was wondering if anybody else would watch. Maybe we could put it on the list.
Serenity.
A different
I have
Serenity.
watched it.
Different one.
Jupiter Ascending is on here again.
Yeah. But they really like some of these movies. But yeah, no, you're right. Like the first 5 are all Nick Cage movies.
Yeah, which I'm wondering. I don't think I've seen any of those.
No.
So I have seen Sorcerer's Apprentice, which
I've seen parts of that one.
was okay, but that was during that period where Jay Baruchel was like the hot property, and he had like 4 movies come out in 2 years. So this was like the peak of that period. Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, I do remember seeing. That's it though.
Yeah. So this Humanity Bureau and Between Worlds looks like 2 we should consider putting on our list.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can add to the list. It's not a problem.
We have to figure out where it's available first.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think Battleship ever needs to be on the list for anybody. Very good.
Probably not. So So another quick one, because we got about 13 and a half minutes left until the clock strikes midnight for you guys. Real quick, let's go ahead and go into the, let's save mattresses for after. But let's talk a little bit about the WiseCam data leak, rather. So if you have any tech friends whatsoever, I'm sure they probably mentioned this. So WiseCam was moving from one system to another, and in order to facilitate that move, a developer opened up the database so that he could move it more easily, and then forgot to close it back down when they were done. Real smart for a company which is more about security than a lot of other things. Now, nobody got user IDs and passwords. They did get email addresses, and they got biometric information. So that was weird, like height, weight, and stuff like that, which I'm not sure how that... I mean, I'm only familiar with the little Wise cams, so I'm not overly familiar with the other stuff that Wise does. I don't know why they need to know how fat I am for a camera. Just look for the biggest object in the room, just below the size of the sofa, and that's me moving around.
So those cams were actually on sale at Home Depot.
Yeah.
On Black Friday for like $20.
Yeah, I think I
was
this one
surprised
for not
by.
much more. Yeah.
But
now,
these were the ones, like I was saying, they keep coming up on Amazon as a very highly recommended, security cam type or IP cam, but everyone is saying that they're the cloud storage for them. Now, does that have a memory card?
It does, actually.
Like local storage?
If you look at the bottom, there's a reset button over here, and there is a micro SD slot here.
Okay, so
you can record just locally. But
okay, so that's actually not bad.
I got this thinking that I would be able to integrate this with the other cameras that I have around the house. Because I use a software system. There's no secret in this. It's called Blue Iris, all right? Basically, it can take any camera that supports OnVIF or the other major platforms, and it allows you to use different cameras and put them all together into a single system running on a PC. So you don't have to buy a dedicated brain. You can run it on the PC. And I thought, well, great. I'll get this little camera. It'll be cool. I can set it in the living room, keep an eye on the dogs when we're not at home. Only problem is these cameras, by default, only work with their software. Only work with their clients. And their clients don't support adding other brands' cameras. I typically don't like to be locked into a single vendor, because that can cause you issues. Unless you can avoid it. There are some times when you just can't avoid being locked into a vendor. But in general, I thought that this would have been a great feature. Now, I could turn this into an RTSP camera, for those of you that know what that is. That would allow me to look at it in my Blue Iris software. But this camera is so underpowered for doing anything other than specifically what Wise wants it to do. I would be limited to 10 frames a second. That's the resolution I would get, and I would lose all other capabilities of it. So no talkback, no microphone. And there's a question about if even the day-night would work on it, running it that way. And Wise has been contacted for, as long as these cameras have been out, they've been asked, when is this going to just do RTSP? When's it just going to do normal stuff? And so they said, well, here, you can use this GitHub version of firmware, which I would never trust anything I just, blindly download, especially for something like surveillance equipment. All right. So, I have an issue with Wise, with the same types of things. I say Ring doorbell, anything like that requires a server side to a piece to work that you are not in control of and can't bring up your own copy of. If you can't operate without them working, and you invest heavily in that technology, then you could be let out to dry if their servers die, or if that company goes under, And I know Ring, I was just using it as an example. I know they're backed by Amazon, so the likelihood of them going under is less now. But there have been other manufacturers that do similar things, and suddenly one day, it's just not there anymore. I have a garage door opener that is, internet based and, IoT type stuff. And, they changed their application on me. They changed the application that they wanted to run. So suddenly now all my IFT scripts don't work. My Alexa stuff doesn't work. I have to use their application, which wasn't my goal. I wanted to be able to voice activate it and do what I wanted to do. But, so that's the problem you run into whenever you use these third parties, I think. And that's my opinion.
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
I think it depends on the vendor. Some vendors have proven that they will keep supporting things forever. Like Amazon has discontinued their original cloud cams because they switched over using Ring as their brand for that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But they seem to be continuing to support those cloud cams as long as they continue to exist.
Yeah.
Google tends to just cancel things and say, sorry, they don't. As of this date, they're gone. Microsoft has discontinued some things, but they tend, when they discontinue, they offer replacements to move it up to things that would still be supported. Mm-hmm. So that's a bit better. But I don't know. It depends on the vendor. Like I would be very skeptical about investing a lot of money into devices by companies that like to kill things. Unless there is some built-in supported backdoor that would allow you to directly control things.
For example, like we used to use Google Hangouts for the show.
Yeah.
Right? It's dead. Google killed it.
Yep.
We used to use FeedBurner for the show. And Google said, hey, we're killing off no new entries, and we're not going to tell you when we finally kick off the servers, but you should have been off of them already. The lifetime for any Google project is 3 years on average.
Mm-hmm.
So, just look at, Google Plus. So, I don't know. Mike, what do you think? What are you heavily invested in?
Really? Nothing. I guess the closest would be we Alexa stuff.
She thought you wanted stuff now. Yeah.
Like this year, I actually bought a bunch of smart outlets.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought we had talked about this using like an old shoebox, like a plastic shoebox as an enclosure for all your extension cords and splitters and what have you. Well, I actually bought, I can get the link for it. I actually bought one that was designed for that. So it has foam seals around where the wires come in and out. So it is waterproof. And I hooked up I used the smart outlets as timers for my Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Because that's a hell of a lot easier to sync all of them up in one app than having to run and see when do the outlets that are on the timer all the time go on, and then try and sync it up with the timer I'm plugged in the garage.
Yeah, you're probably
it's just a hell of a lot easier.
Probably talking something like this.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I have one of those on my porch as well.
I have a large one in black, which ironically next year I may actually have to get another one. I also have some cord sealers, cord cover. Let me.
Yeah, see, my wife was all excited. She's like, I found this hack on Pinterest. We can just take the disposable rubber Tupperware stuff and cut slits on either side. And I'm like, I don't need that. I have a box specifically made to do this. Problem solved. And if I need more, I will go buy another box.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not that expensive.
Now,
really.
Back to your thing, though.
Yeah.
So, if there was an alternate software source off of GitHub,
mm-hmm.
then that is something I would trust. Because that's source code.
Right. If you were so inclined to do all the research.
Well, I just would expect the community to... let me put it this way. I would not be happy to jump directly in if someone said, here's a source code. I'll be like, okay, well, I'm not going to use that today.
Mm-hmm.
But after the community has had enough time to look through the code and make sure there's no pieces of the code saying, oh, upload all nudie pictures to this site or something like that.
Identify dongs and take snapshot.
Yeah. Then they'd be like, okay, well, I would trust that source code that people would be able to look at more than I did the source code that I could not look at.
Yeah, it was a pain for me because, like I said, I was expecting one thing, and honestly, I should have done more research.
Mm-hmm.
But, there were tons of questions out there about, well, can this be used in this particular install? And I was hopeful that it could, but it actually can't. So I'm going to have to do some more looking because I want something this small form factor because it's really handy. It'd be handier if it was PoE and, but that works.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, I've been looking at replacing our security cameras, which are like old 480 or 640 by 480 that came with the house.
Yep.
I've been looking at replacing those with something. And part of me was like, well, should I just invest in the Ubiquiti Unify cameras?
No.
Since I already have Unify access points.
Yeah. I have used the Unify cameras. I was one of the first ones on board with them. They can't be used with anything other than their own NVR software. So that's another reason. That's a reason why I don't like them.
Well,
not to say that you wouldn't run that, but
part of it was going to be getting their
little NVR
Cloud
box.
Key.
Oh, Cloud Key, yeah. But you don't need that. I have other ways for that if you're interested.
Well, you know what? It kind of got me thinking, just from a simplification thing, that I would have one PoE switch that could control, that I could do my access points off of. I could do the cameras off of. The PoE wiring would be perfect.
Yep.
Obviously, when we sold the house, I could pull it all out. But it was Bitwit did a video where he did the install. Now, he had like 5 cameras, the switch, all the wiring, and the most expensive Cloud Key possible. And I think he said it was like $2,000.
Yeah.
But he also put all 4K cameras in.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want 4K.
Yeah.
I don't need to see the blackhead on the UPS guy's nose when he's putting his package on the porch. I don't care.
Yeah. So, I completely agree. So we're about 20 seconds away from the new year. This is not the end of the show. We will keep going. So we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
See? Yes. Hey, I remember all those years we got in trouble for doing copyrighted, music. So I wasn't going to have that happen again. So we end up with Old Lang Syne played on, little kids, thing.
If we did that with him full screen with that music playing, I'm sure we could.
Yes. Oh.
Stick that video up all by itself. That might get somewhere.
We might get some views. Getting some views. Put it up and we get some gold. We need some gold.
We ranked that up with one of the top 10 dumbest experiments that we've done. That gold. I still don't know.
Still don't know how to get our gold. We get pots and pots of gold. We don't know how to get it.
I've looked back through that, trying to figure it out, and I still have no idea what that's useful for.
I don't know either. But
I mean,
no,
you can't turn it into Bitcoin. It's just like you buy gold, and then you give gold to other people.
Yeah.
And what do they do with it then?
I don't know. Is that even around still? Is YouNow even around still? Of course it's around, but boy, has it changed. It is really different than what it used to be. Yeah. Boy, and we don't belong even more now. This looks like these kids are 12. So we would not want to be on that platform anymore. But no, it's been a great year for PTR Radio.
Yeah.
We got to say thank you to all the listeners and fans and everybody that have really helped the show. And we hope that you continue to help the show grow, because it's only through you guys that we actually, grow our listenership. We don't put any money into it. We cause Colin to fall asleep, and so, we do our best to bring you content. And one of the pieces of content that we bring you every single show is, Mike sending me a link to the music was enhanced by Gilbert chasing Holly around the house, both growling in harmony. Yeah, so Mike was talking earlier about cord connectors. This is what they look like.
So,
basically
the 3-pack of those I used on just the standard, Y splitters, where I don't need anything fancy. But
yeah,
it's sad, man.
I know.
It's sad how
Yeah,
Christmas has turned into. And then I have the Christmas trees on timers as well. And my whole thought was, at least with these, when Christmas is over, I can take the smart plugs and reassign them.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently my parents' dog is chasing a cat that's been dead for over a decade now.
So, all right. So we have...
No idea.
I don't know. So we have our movie reviews this evening, which we do every show. All right. Every show that we remember to watch the movies, we do movie reviews. And we're back on our regular schedule now. And this is our last roundup for Christmas movies for this season. We picked 2 shows that we would do a show apiece of Christmas movies. So this episode, we have Velocipaster and Merry-in-Laws. Only one of those is a Christmas movie. If you haven't figured it out by now, it's obviously Velocipaster. No, Merry-in-Laws is the Christmas movie starring George Wendt and Shelley Long. Velocipaster stars no one you would know. So we will do our best to do the reviews of these and let you know whether they are the shining gems of their streaming platform, or whether they're not worth the bits that it took to put them up. So, with that said, which one do we want to start on, guys?
We're the one closest to Christmas, so In-Laws.
Merry-in-Laws. All right. I'll go first. So, Merry-in-Laws is I wouldn't even call it a Hallmark movie because it's not really. If you want to call it anything, call it like a ABC Family movie or a Disney movie or something like that. It's very, very tame and very kid-friendly. So, if there's any questions, this is definitely the one to watch with the family. It's PG, so there's no bad words or anything like that. There is a little bit of hanky-panky going on in the movie, but otherwise nothing that you see, all right? You don't see George Wendt's butt or anything like that unless you count his boxers. So in this movie, a recently engaged woman plans a get-together so her parents can meet her fiancé's family, who turns out to be Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So my wife swears we've seen this because she's watched every Hallmark movie and pretty much every single movie that's about Christmas out there, but I don't think she's seen it because I would have remembered watching this. I haven't watched it. I hadn't watched it before. So, one, it's just great to see Shelley Long and George Wendt on screen together again. All right. That's Cheers family. For those of you that were born in the late 70s and 80s, that's who it is. It's Cheers royalty, basically. When when the fiance opened the door and George went right there, I wished the crowd would have gone, Norm! But they didn't. Instead they called him Santos. But regardless of that, so this movie actually reminded me a little bit of like Meet the Fockers and, a Christmas movie kind of mashed together. It was transparent as all get out what was going to happen in the movie. I'm not going to lie. There's no real deepness to this movie. All right. I wanted to punch the dad in the nose the moment that he came on screen. That was just a given. I mean, there's no excuse. You do not tell a kid that there's no Santa Claus, because there most certainly is. So, I actually liked this movie, to tell you the truth. I know that is probably not going to be a popular opinion, but I thought that it was a good, lighthearted Christmas movie, and I know that people aren't going to like it enough because it wasn't deep enough. It tries to be a Hallmark movie, but there's not enough grit to it. If you can believe it or not, there's not enough grit to make this a Hallmark movie. Hallmark movies are usually much more discouraging. This one, boy, they wrapped up the downbeat and the upbeat really quickly. They didn't let it fester for a half an hour or 45 minutes like Hallmark does and make you wonder what's going to happen in the pre-contrived, scenario that you already know what's really going to happen. So, Mary-in-Law's for me, good movie. I'm going to give it a smile because I think that's really where she belongs. So, smile coming from me. All right, Colin, you're up next.
So, Mary-in-Law's, I found a little long. Here's the biggest problem with this movie. There is the issue that this movie and the previous movie we watched before proves that Shelley Long does not have any acting ability whatsoever. She was great in Cheers because she basically played herself. And then she was good at some other movies because she basically played herself. She basically is a quintessential character actress. And so there's parts of this movie where she's actually good, but that's because she stopped trying to act. Because when she tries to act, it's like a singer singing opera. She pushes way too hard. But beyond that, structurally, the problem with this movie is that the father character, which everybody wants to see Santa beat up, is the character who needs to change the most in this movie. And he doesn't. Except in during the credits, pictures from the wedding. Oh, look, he's a happy, fun guy now. That really should have been in the main movie. That should have been the end of the movie. I mean, the finale of the movie is, oh yeah, he really is Santa Claus. Yay, I guess we're going to get married now. But that's not really the crux of the problem. It's not, the plot of this movie is not about, oh, he's really Santa Claus. It's the relationship between the female love interest and her father. And that does not really get resolved in this movie. That's my biggest problem with the movie. That and it just, I was like, okay, how much time's left on this movie? Half an hour. Okay, third act is starting. We're going to get somewhere now. But that being said, I'm going to actually give it the same rating as A Smile because it's a fun little Christmas movie. I mean, yeah, it is what it was.
All right, Mike, you're up.
All right. So before I read this, I'm going to give you just a quick synopsis. As I said, this was the first time in how many years that Kim watched a movie with me. And to summarize, she gave this, I didn't try to explain the puke to Snikey scale. Gave it a 3 out of 10, which we translate to a gag. Kid was cute. No need for the elf. Where was the elf at the end as far as getting home? Would she watch it again? No. There were other comments, and because we watched this together, I don't have my typical bullet points. So I'm just going to say, like, I'm not surprised that Santa's son is a teacher in this style movie. We have seen Fred Claus, where Santa's son was a screw-up. Or no, actually, no, that was Santa's brother was a screw-up. But usually, the astrophysicist, or whatever she is, I don't understand her working with her ex-boyfriend, who is obviously the father's favorite. I'm with you that I wanted to punch the father in the face right away. Didn't like the fact that the mother... It seemed a little weird that the mother got so happy about ginger snaps. When they're running around the kitchen, the son and the elf, Linda, we questioned why Linda was not an actual elf and why was she Chinese. The hippie sister kind of annoyed me as well, because they never really explained why she was gone. They just said she was a disappointment, and then all of a sudden she comes back and she can see Santa's aura. But all things considered, I mean, look, I don't watch a whole lot of Hallmark movies or Christmas movies for that matter. So I gave this a smirk. Not quite a smile, because there were some parts. I guess I had a problem with George Wendt being Santa. Or maybe it was just the fact that, or maybe it was Shelley Long as Mrs. Claus, that the two of them didn't work as Mr. and Mrs. Claus for me. Otherwise, I probably would have given this a smile along with you guys. But I felt like their chemistry really, as a couple, wasn't there.
Yeah, they in the very brief...
Am I really getting that picky about these movies that I'm...
No, it's fine, because, like, okay, take the Christmas Chronicles, for example, right? Okay, the short interaction you see at the end of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, there was more chemistry between those two in that. Okay, but that's
not a fair comparison, because they're a couple in real life.
Well, yes, but still.
What about take Tim Allen and the principal or the teacher in Santa Claus 2?
Well, yeah, but they showed that was a brand new relationship that they were getting into.
Right. Okay, but their chemistry together.
It was good.
You enjoyed that, seeing them as a couple.
Yeah.
And in the second one, they were good together as a couple.
Yeah.
Or the third one, rather.
Third one, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that just the two of them together as a couple,
you could visualize more, yeah.
Yes. These two, I like them both, but they just didn't work for me as a couple.
I understand you.
Yeah. Although I will say that it's Christmas Chronicles, both of you gave it a smile. So, it's kind of...
Yeah. Well, All right, next up.
Christmas Chronicles was much better than this one was.
I feel better about this now that I gave this a little lower than that one.
Yeah, I think your rating is perfect.
No. All right, next up, Velocipaster. So, Velocipaster is a story of a priest who loses his parents in a car explosion, and then to clear his soul or to clear his mind, goes to China, which looks amazingly like whatever city he's in later on, like 3 or 4 times, and while hiking in the middle of nowhere, comes across a Chinese girl who gets shot with an arrow. It's sticking 7 inches out of her chest, and he goes, "Are you hurt?" Yes, she is. In fact, in about 30 seconds, she'd be dead. That's how hurt she is. And then, I don't understand how it went from, I scraped my hand on this bush, to suddenly now I have a mark on my hand from this tooth that I've already been holding for 5 minutes. And now suddenly I'm imbued with the powers of Barney. All right. If you watch this movie thinking that you are going to get even Zombies quality visual effects, you're missing out. All right? The fact that the car explosion that his parents were in wasn't on screen, just a placeholder that said visual effects car on fire. All right? They didn't even have the car blow up in the movie. All right? And there's a good reason why. This movie cost $35,000 total and was created out of an idea that got turned into a trailer, a grindhouse trailer for another movie. And that trailer was a film project, a film school project. So you can't think that this was thought out to the nth degree. Now, with that being said, they had a lot of possibilities for this movie. All right. They could have done much better. All right. But I think maybe this is a good candidate for a reboot. All right. I think the guys who do Iron Sky should reboot Velocipaster. Because I think if you take Iron Sky's producer, director, visual effects, and, all their budget, the cinematography, and you put it onto the story of Velocipaster, I think you could end up with a decent B movie. I'm not going to give it any better than that. That's all it's ever going to be, is a decent B movie if it gets to that point. But I just kept... Sometimes in the movie, it was actually pretty funny. When he first woke up in bed and him and the hooker are having the conversation and he thinks that he slept with her, that's one of the funniest pieces of the whole movie. So much so that it made one of the quotes on IMDb. It's not a quote. It's a whole section of dialogue, people. It shouldn't be a quote. So, anyway, Velocipaster, really bad in its current incarnation. Please reboot it. Please do it better. I know it's there. All right? You've got the premise down. You could be the next person on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You just need better visual effects. All right? And my God, even the Chinese who do the scare videos of the raptor guy in the malls have better costumes than were in this movie. So I'm going to give it a Verp. I have to give it a Verp because the quality was so bad. It was so bad. It was painful to watch. All right. Colin, you're up.
Okay. So, it should really have been called Velocipriest, by the way, because I don't know that much about Catholics, but he was a priest. He wasn't a pastor.
Yeah.
But see, that's part of the whole thing is this movie had one of the worst examples of Christianity in any movie ever. And this genre of movie usually messes up other religions. They'll have crazy Chinese mysticism, religion things going on, completely messing up other religions. So actually, I kind of liked that because it was kind of like the whole ambiance of completely messing up Christianity the same way that they usually mess up other foreign language religions. So it was kind of like, oh, okay. I guess it all kind of works together that way. This is a very, very weird movie. So you have the main priest character. You have the priest who is trying to oversee him, played, I believe, by the father of the director, creator, writer. And really reminded me of the Weird Al's movie UHF. He has the guy who does all the technology stuff for the UHF station who turns out to be an alien. So he really reminded me of that guy. So this is one of the funniest movies I've seen recently. I laughed a lot watching it, both at it and with it, because there's definitely lots of places in it where it was basically a parody of other movies, and you were supposed to laugh at it, with it. But there's other places where I was laughing at it. a lot of places where they just like they did like Plan 9 style. Oh, the guy just fell over. That's okay. We'll just keep that. We'll keep that shot. So there's a time where the Velocipaster falls over, and they just keep going, and then they cut to him no longer having fallen over. To say that he's Barney the dinosaur is giving it way too much credit. But here comes the problem. Okay, I actually really liked this movie. It is a movie that I would recommend to other people who like bad movies. It is a movie that they need to watch. But at the same time, it's a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. So I can't give it a shnikes. I can't give it a kill it with fire. It's I enjoyed it too much. So I looked back through our history of ratings to figure out what rating I should give it from our history of ratings.
How many other religious dinosaur movies we've had?
And I found another movie that had to have a separate, somewhat surreal rating. And I decided that's the rating that I have to give this movie. So I am giving Velocipaster Sardine.
I don't even remember that. All right. Mike, you're up.
I have to... Harambe, bitch. You spelled it wrong. Anyway. I love this movie right off the bat. When you can't afford the visual effects for a car on fire and just flash the words BFX, car on fire, in its place, so you're left here, man. That's a brilliant move. And if it catches on, gentlemen, we could make the next Avatar for $40. Mm-hmm. You should travel, Doug. Don't you dare go to Britain, you son of a bitch. Go where God is not. He's going to Britain. No, he's going to China, of course. Okay. Frankie, keeping his pimp hand strong. And I got to disagree with you. This raptor costume is the best piece of special effects I have ever seen. In fact, actually, no, I take that back. The mannequin head rolling actually tops it. Of course, Frankie, who is dressed in the Joker's rejects clothes, killed the pastor's parents, and the pastor is kind of like Batman, except he's Raptor Man, and he's a priest. How Father Stewart is not going to know what VP is doing when the dude just slaughtered Frankie in the confessional. See, this is the kind of plot hole that ruins a movie. Now the movie is turning into kind of a very odd twist on one of my personal favorites, Boondock Saints, except instead of brothers on a mission from God, it's a priest that turns into a raptor and a hooker. So it's the same, but it's different. And now they're Blues Brothers because they're on a mission from God. The army uniforms during the flashback. Maybe Father Stewart should have just left the helmet off. I'm just saying. Classic example of the hooker teaching the virgin what's what. Of course. These two, Hooker and Veep, are awful damn calm considering four ninjas just dove into the bedroom. And then they get up and they kick the ninjas' butts and, well, better reason than that to just make out instead of asking questions. What? Ninjas, what happened? What? We're going to sell drugs. We're going to stop selling them. Then we're going to offer the cure. This sounds like a secret recording of one of the Illuminati big pharma meetings where they made up restless leg syndrome and then started selling everyone Tic Tacs in order to cure it. Or it's like, we came up with this drug and this is what it does, so let's make everyone think they have this disease that they need this drug for. Someone tell me when they're going to fight, what the Velocipaster needs nunchucks for. Turns into a Velociraptor. Doesn't need. And why it would have made more sense if the hooker had the nunchucks. Then she wouldn't have had to use her shoe. I swear. Shaggy, you point out. Fight stance.
No. And then she put it back on after she killed the guy.
So,
Crazy.
the way this ended was not a proper ending. What I needed to see, if she survived, I needed to see Prego Velociraptor hooker with the Velociraptor baby. That's what I needed to see. That's the only way it would have made sense that she survived, because she had the Velocipaster Jr. growing inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
However, and puke the shnikes, I'm going to give this a smile.
Wow.
It was cheesy in a fun way. It wasn't British, so it got points for that. Never took itself too seriously, obviously. And it's short enough that it didn't get overly annoying. The reason it got bumped up to a smile from just a meh is the fact that the actress who played the hooker actually grew up not too far from me. And chances are, based on our ages and geography, we were probably in some bar at the same time, somewhere. No, not really, but I'm just trying to give some kind of reason why I gave this a smile.
So I did forget one thing.
Okay.
Which is the reason why I gave it sardines instead of deciding, because as much as I liked the movie and laughed at the movie, it had the worst soundtrack in any movie we've ever watched.
It had a budget of $35,000. They couldn't afford licensing for any music at all.
So have no music. But they found like 3 local bands to sing their own songs extremely badly. The songs were so bad that I ended up wanting to mute the TV so that their terrible singing would stop giving me a headache.
I know it's not possible, but I would love to know how much they've made off of Velocipaster. If, you know,
I have no idea how much Amazon pays.
Oh, not much. It's pennies.
Yeah.
But I would love to know how much they have made in theatrical releases, and which, if this movie had a theatrical release, that would be one of the funniest things ever. Like, even if they did it to like one theater, have the director come out and give, a pre-show and then a post-show interview, that would be hilarious. All right. With that said, it is now time to check on what we're going to be watching next time. So, Mike.
Oh, and real quick, this was regarding Mary-in-laws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a premiere.
Oh, great.
In Toronto.
Oh, of course.
That at the Grand Girard Theater.
Oh, okay. I thought they were going to say like Bob's Garage. Where they just took a projector and a sheet and basically it was a block party.
Nope, they had an actual premiere in an actual theater. And also, it toured many other theater events.
Oh my
So
God!
it has been
really?
it has been in many theaters.
That is insane. All right, Mike. What are we up to now?
32.
32. 20. Number 20. By the way, while Mike's checking that, if you enjoyed the host intros during our movie review, please make sure to submit some of them. You can send them to shaggy@ptrradio.com. I will keep them confidential until showtime. But if you know bits and pieces about the hosts, we are more than happy to throw them up on the screen and surprise them.
All right, so this is on Amazon. It's called The Answer.
The Answer.
Yes, and whoever put this in did not give us much of a description, other than it is sci-fi.
Let me see here if I can. Following the tragic death of a spouse, 6 old friends reunite for a backpacking trip deep into the woods, hoping to mend the pain and bring back balance.
Oh,
Well, it wasn't me.
so it's kind of like Stand By Me, but not.
It's definitely not
Well,
without a paddle.
It was not me because it's Amazon, not smile.amazon.
Yeah. Well, there's some good reviews of it, so we'll see. Looks like it's fairly mixed. We can go from there. So, 2 hours. That's going to be a bit of a long one for us.
Yeah.
What? No, it's an hour 22.
Okay, that's.
I see an hour 58. Are we
you may
watching
not
the
have-
same thing?
Yeah, because
Maybe
this
not.
is
I'm
this is
going-
supposed to be sci-fi, and that is not sci-fi.
I'm sending you the link
Okay.
as it appeared in the suggestion sheet.
Okay. After being attacked, an introverted young man must follow clues left by his dead parents in order to figure out who is after him and who he really is. Don't remember this
Now-
one, that's for sure.
This is showing up on mine anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Customers who watched this item also watched. I see some ones we've reviewed here. Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians. The English dub of Guardians.
Did we watch Cartel 2045, or is that maybe that's another one on the list?
I think we may have.
Atlantic Rim Resurrection, I know we've watched.
I think we started watching Cartel 2045, but I think we banned it for some reason, and I don't know why.
Bomb Squad, I think we watched.
See, I'm looking at IMDb, and I do.
Transmorphers, I know we watched.
Yeah.
Adventures, Grim. Oh, Time Wars, we haven't watched yet, but it's on there.
We may have disqualified 2045, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so
David.
yeah,
S.
and it's only an hour 20.
Okay,
so
so that's good. Oh, it's
that's
a
okay.
High Octane Pictures. I probably did put this on there because I think I was looking through High Octane Pictures at one point because they had some good ones.
Yeah, and I don't see anything else that the director has directed that we've watched. So
Yeah, no, it's just
Fantastic.
yeah. All right, number 8.
Like a real movie. And it's not available anymore anyway.
Oh, what
That was
was
the
it?
Wraith
The Wraith. Okay.
with Charlie Sheen. Now, listen,
Mhm.
that brings me to a point here. I'm going to recommend that we have a third on deck.
Okay.
Well, let's see what the next one
Well,
is.
yeah, because the month is going to change. all right.
The year is going to change
the
even.
year's going to
so
change too.
So 15.
The Assassin's Code on Amazon. Okay.
Sounds
It's a Nick
Livable.
Cage
I think
movie.
this is doable.
Hey, there we go.
No.
What?
But is it?
Where do you see Nick Cage?
Wait, maybe you're looking at a different one. Because there's 2 movies called Assassin's Code. There's one called The Assassin's Code, and there's one called
The Assassin's Code, yeah.
The Assassin's Code is, well, it sure looked like Nick Cage. Let me put it that way.
That
On
is
the
not
preview.
Nick Cage.
Okay, sorry.
But it's got the angry Russian from Russian hero from
from Armageddon.
Yep.
A rookie detective, son of a dead, disgraced cop, works to solve his first major case while under the watchful eye of a ghost-like assassin. Action, drama, suspense. Wow.
All right, so let's. Amazon would tell us if it's leaving within a few days, right?
I would think so. I think normally.
So I don't think we have to work. I don't think we have to worry about picking. If we had a Netflix one,
yeah,
we may have had to pick a backup. But
this looks interesting because the director. This is like one of the first things he's actually directed, but he's been like camera operator on a whole ton of stuff.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
Like everything from Sliders to he worked on the pilot for Sliders.
Nope. So it's interesting. Interesting that we'll have both of those. So pretty much that's that. Yep, that's the one I was looking at. So so with that said, that pretty much wraps up this year.
Yeah.
For us. And we are happy that you stuck with us.
And if you're watching live, get in your picks for the Death Pool.
Yeah, if you're
yes,
if you're watching live or if you're hearing this before the 13th, make sure that you get your picks in for the Celebrity Death Pool. We want to make this year even bigger than last, which is going to be a tall order. But hopefully you guys can help us by telling all your friends and family about it and getting that information in. Just go to ptrradio.com and enter it in where you see Death Pool entry.
Because remember, you can 13th. They have until.
Yep, 13th.
You have until the 13th, but if somebody you want to put on your list dies before then, that's too late.
Yep. So make sure you get them in now. And remember, we are changing our prize this year, so the size of the prize is going to be dependent upon how many registered, verified people we get in. So, it's an Amazon gift card of undetermined value, which is their favorite kind of value around here. But we really do hope everybody had a great Christmas. We hope everybody has a great and safe New Year's. Remember to be responsible when you are partaking in anything. And when we come back, it's going to be legal to spark up a doob in this state. So you never know what you might see in this studio.
No,
I'm pretty sure you won't see that at all.
No, you won't see that.
No.
At least you won't be seen on this side of the room.
Edibles, maybe. But, not...
You won't see that until Mike comes to visit.
That's right. So, folks, like I said, we do hope everybody's safe and great New Year, and thank you so much for being part of our family this year. So with that said, folks, we will see you again on the 13th. I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the 8-Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.